Perfect. Welcome back to another masterclass with 7 Ways to Wealth. It is my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker for tonight. His name is Brandon Jackson. He is the co-founder of Millionaire Essentials along with his partner Tevin, and they went from making 6 figures to creating multiple 6-figure businesses. And now they help 9-to-5ers and they help small business owners acquire a lot of business credit, like large amounts of business credit without using their own money from their pockets. So it is it's my pleasure to introduce Brandon Jackson. Hey, Brandon, you have the floor.
Y'all can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? How you guys doing? I see a lot of you guys, a couple people from Michigan, not Michigan, Maryland. You was talking about Maryland. Where y'all from? I want to type in the chat where y'all from, because I'm from New York. So I just want to see where a lot of y'all in the audience is from. If you could type in the chat where you from, where you located. I'm Brandon. My partner Tevin should be joining us shortly. But yeah,
I'm right here.
Oh, you're on? All right, good. So my partner Tevin. So we teach business credit. So we teach you how to basically get large amounts of capital and invest that into your business, whether you're a small business owner, you're an entrepreneur, or you're making money currently. I know the other gentleman was just on. How many people currently have business credit? How many people have high limit business credit cards, have lines of credit in their business name, not just personal funding, but business credit? Because I want to gauge where the audience is and who I'm talking to. Type in the chat if you have business credit cards. You have an LLC set up and you have business credit cards. So we know, where you guys at.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. And that's usually percentage of the the business owners in America, right? There's only 74% of business owners in America that actually know about business. That don't know about business credit.
Like Terry said, you can never have enough. So right. The point is that we do services, right? We teach people and we do services. We get you access to the capital in basically every way possible, whether it's credit, whether it's SBA, whether it's grants, whether it's anything you could utilize the leverage to grow your business, you need to start utilizing. If you make 100,000, you have access to 1 million. If you make 1 million, you have access to 5 and 10 million. So once you get that capital, you need to be able to put that in your business and 10x your business. Like Christine said, and she teaches about trust. So that's the ultimate tool that you need to utilize when you're making a lot of money, a lot of profit. So we're going to give a little presentation here on how you can access business credit and how you can get to these no-doc loans, lines of credit, and high-limit credit cards. Because a lot of us don't realize we have so much power in just leveraging our credit profile without even making any money. So by having a good profile, we have access to 6 or 7 figures out the gate just by utilizing the strategies properly. So if you, Christine, if I could share my screen. There we go.
Yes, you should have screen sharing capabilities. Do you?
Yeah. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can see it. Perfect.
There we go. Okay. So Millionaire Essentials is a company that me and Tevin started, right? Millionaire Essentials is self-explanatory. We basically break down all essentials it is to be a millionaire, to make millions. So this is the foundation. Some of the stuff you may know, some of the stuff you may not know. So we always like to start with the foundation, setting up that LLC correctly, because a lot of people are getting cut off at the point because their foundation is not set up correctly. They don't have the right physical addresses. They don't have the right business phone numbers. They're not listed on Google. All these type of things that we take for granted. Let's just set up an LLC and get some funding. They have caught on today. They don't have the right NAICS code. Banks are asking for NAICS codes. Oh, if this is a high risk industry, nah. We're getting denials. We're hearing people telling us that we got denied because we went in there and said we did real estate. We went in there and said we did trucking. I'm telling you guys now, this is limiting your funding. This is limiting your funding greatly. So we got to have the foundation right. Once we build up the foundation, we go to the next step. There's people telling me now, oh, the bank told me this is a pill box. This is not a real physical address. I'm getting these type of things every day. If you guys have had any of these issues, let me know. I'm telling you, I'm getting these every day because you guys are going in there with your foundation wrong. and you're passing up $50,000, $100,000 lines of credit because you're going in there with your foundation wrong, taking it for granted that this money, you could just get this money so easily. You can if you're set up right. So we're going to get active. We're going to get straight to it. These are the business funding requirements and guidelines that we go by that's going to get you them 5 and 6 figures. These are the minimum guidelines. So first we start off a minimum of a 680 credit score. If your credit score is less than 680, you're limiting your amount of funding to the major banks. We like to talk about the tier one. Tier one banks in this country are Chase, Wells Fargo, Citibank, and Bank of America. So you can look up anywhere. Those are the top 4 banks that's making damn near the most and giving out the most assets and making the most in the entire country. So this is the minimum criteria you want to have to go to any tier one bank. If you have under this, I would suggest get your credit profile up a little further. If you have negatives, pay a credit repair company, or you could dispute it yourself and get your score right so your score can improve. So as we know today, it's not about the score completely though. It's about the profile. So I've had people with 800 credit score with a horrible profile. So you can have a great credit score because you showed your ability to pay back since you were younger. So your credit score could be 800, 780, but your profile will be thin. That means you have low credit. So we're not operating off the mentality of the 80s and 90s where, yo, we don't need credit. We need credit. The more credit you have, the better you look in today's society to the banks and to the lenders. So we want to get as much or as strong on a personal side so we can leverage that to get as much on the business side. Whatever you have on the personal, you get 5 to 10 times more on the business side without showing documents. So we're going to get to that. Minimum credit score is 680. No more than 4 inquiries in the last 6 months. 5 to 8 primary accounts, 10 to 12 is optimal. According to the FICO system, 10 to 12 primary accounts is optimal. Now, when we say primary accounts, these are accounts that you guys applied for. So the accounts that you guys opened up. So a lot of people have been using trade lines. Trade lines about to start dying out. Trade lines can help you, which is secondary accounts, aka authorized users. They can help you boost a little bit. But like I said, we're heading to a depression. If you guys didn't know, we're heading to a depression. They're going to announce it next year. Or the system is changing greatly. The system is changing a lot. So all these trade lines and little tricks you used to use in the past, the banks and industries, they're catching on because they're about to starting to cut giving out money. So they're tightening the guidelines. So we want to build up the accounts that we have. So if you have a thin profile, we have a credit builder to show you how to build primary accounts. And we're going to get to that. So the minimum is 5 to 8. When we say 5, I want at least 3 high limit credit cards and 2 installment accounts. An installment account is anything you're paying over time, like a loan. It could be a personal loan, could be a mortgage, could be an auto loan, could be a student loan. So a lot of people be thinking these things are bad. If they're in good standing, this is going to help you in the long run. Continue to pay it off. Because once you show your ability to pay back a loan of that size, you can get access to credit of that size. So at least 5 to 8 primary accounts. No derogatories and negatives in the last 24 months. They do a 24-month look back. So if you have anything older, it will affect you, but not as hard. But still, I would still get that removed because you want your profile clean. 4 to 5 years of credit age. So now a lot of people have young credit age. This is one of the few things that I would use a trade line for. So if you have somebody, so they do the law averages. If you have somebody with a 2-year-old primary, then a 3-year-old primary, then a 4-year-old primary, that's what, 9 years old, right? So that's a 9-year-old. If you combine 4 plus 3 plus 2, that's 9 years. Then divided by 3. So the average credit age is 3. Somebody double check that. I'm not great at math. So your average years is 3. Now you would add a higher trade line on to boost that. So now if you add a 30-year account on your profile, that will boost your credit age up. That's how you boost your credit age. Just add an older line on, that'll boost your credit age up because they do the averages. So that's how you average out your credit age. Are y'all following me? I hope I'm not moving too fast. I know my time is limited. Y'all following me? Put yes in the chat if y'all following me. Put yes in the chat if y'all following me because I want to make sure I'm not moving too fast. But that's how you do the credit age. And 10% or less total credit utilization. Really, I should have put 9%. We want under 10%. This is the most optimal for funding. 0 to 5 is the most optimal, but under 10%, we want to see before we go for any funding. So a lot of people, that whole 30%, I hope you guys know that's a myth. 30% is close to high. So if you look on your Experian or in your FICO system, when you start getting to 30, 40%, that's starting to affect your credit. So that's too high. When we're going for funding, that's too high. So we want to drop that down to 9%. And I'm gonna give you a couple things. If y'all got any issues with utilization, I'm gonna give you a couple things before we leave. Matter of fact, let me drop it right now because I might forget. Use Meet Tally, MEETTALLY. Meet Tally will help you pay down your utilization. Somebody, Tev, you could drop that in chat for me. They'll take your credit cards, they'll put it on an installment loan, which does not report to your credit profile, and you can pay that installment loan over time, but now they'll pay down some of your credit cards. So Meet Tally can help you with your utilization. Now, I told you guys about tier 1, 2, or 3 accounts. We're gonna get to the credit cards now, right? I didn't even know we was gonna give them all this, but we're gonna get to the credit cards now. So when we talk about tier 1, 2, and 3 accounts, like I said, make a business bank account with either Chase, Wells Fargo, Citibank, or Bank of America. Have a tier 1 bank account, right? Once you have a tier 1 bank account, these are some of the business cards that you can apply for 0% interest. So the point is that when we're talking high limit business credit cards, these are 0% interest cards you can get out the gate. Chase Inc., BOA, Wells Fargo. Then you got the Amexes. These are the tier 2 banks, the Amexes, the US banks. So these are the 0% interest cards that you should be applying for when you apply for these bank accounts. So it's 3 type of banks we want to have with each LLC minimum. A tier 1 bank, which is the big boys that I explained. A credit union like Navy Federal. I know you guys heard of Navy Federal, Bethpage, PSECU, because the credit unions give out the bag as well once you build up the relationship. And a local bank or like a neighborhood bank or a bank in your jurisdiction, like a Truist, a Key Bank. Those banks, okay. Those banks, you want to do at least 3 of those each LLC. You can never have enough relationships with banks. So that's how we get a lot of funding with clients, because we built up relationships. It's over there. We built up relationships with banks. So now we have relationships with bank branch managers and relationship managers. So now we can just go in these banks and get funding for our clients out the gate. We're getting 50 to 80K on the Chase Inc. cards. And that's not just because we walking in there just doing blind applications online. We have the relationships in the banks to get these cards and high limit cards. And we're getting 50 to 80K off just regular profiles. So now you have a 50 to 80K off of Chase Inc. Now the other banks are looking at you. If you have a relationship like that with a tier 1 bank, it's going to be easier to get funding with the other banks. So that's like walking down a block with a girl that looks really good. A lot of women are going to be looking at you. How did he get that girl? So that's how we look at it. So that's why we want to build the relationships with tier 1 banks, credit unions, and your local banks as well. That's in your interview. Now, before I get to the next slide, also, like I was saying, you have to have your LLC set up right. So I want to go over that really quick before I start going through these cards. The proper way, if y'all want to write this down, the proper way, make sure you have your name set up. Get your articles done on the Secretary of State. Get your articles of incorporation, articles of formation done on the Secretary of State. You get your EIN on irs.gov. You GoDaddy or Wix, get your domain name and your email. Make sure you get your business email. After you get your business email, make sure you get your business phone number. You can use phone.com. You can use Freedom Voice. You can use call8, KLL8.com and get a business phone number. All of this is not I should or maybe this is a must, because we want to look credible to these banks. They ask for these things. I'm telling you guys, they ask for these things, especially when you're going to get a lot of money. You want to also list yourself on 411 or Google. When you list yourself on Google, you can hit everybody in this chat and say, you know what, can you put a comment or give me 5 stars on Google? Send it out to all your friends. That's how you get a lot of good reviews easy. Send it out to your friends, your family, everybody in your mentorship programs. Hey, can you just give me a good review on Google? Now you have 30 reviews out the gate. Look how good your business looks. So we want to make sure we get these things done because this is 2022 going to 2023. Everything is social media and everything is how you look online. So you want to look good online. And then you want to get your DNB number, your Dun and Bradstreet number, because that's how we want to build our business credit scores. I hope I ain't missing a step, right? No, that should be everything. And make sure you get a registered agent. Do not be your own registered agent. So you can easily get a register. You go to Northwest Registered Agents, or you get a registered agent inside your community, inside your vicinity. I got an LLC in Florida. I use Florida Registered Agents. It's cheap. You pay one time a year. There's New York Registered Agents. There's registered agents anywhere in your state. So you could just Google that as well. And the virtual addresses, make sure you get a virtual address. So a lot of people, this is the issue I'm running into, right? Find out how your virtual address appears, because a lot of banks are pulling up these virtual addresses and saying these are mailboxes. You need a virtual address that's a good physical address. A lot of people told me lately Regis has been giving them a problem. Banks have been saying you'll come up as a mailbox or postal box, a PO box, and it's been giving them issues. I use DaVinci. There's Alliance. There's Opus. And there's physicaladdress.com. Those are some good ones. So I've used those. Make sure you have a good physical address. So that's now that we're looking good, we're looking credible, then we go for these cards and bank accounts.
Where they saying that about Regis? Because I use
I heard a
Regis.
couple people, like about 5 people that told me about it already. Somebody in New York, somebody in like Chicago. So just make sure whatever address they give you is coming up as a business address, a physical address. Because it just
because if that's in your contract, they have to list it as a business address, because if that's in your contract, they have to list it just as that.
Yeah. So just make sure.
Yeah, also, Delaware was doing that as well. Delaware was doing the same thing that you was talking about.
Well, just to let y'all know, if they are doing that, because now I'm gonna double check that. But if that's in your contract, then that's in your contract when you set up with virtual offices, they have to list it that way, or then they're gonna have a problem, and you could take legal action on that, because that's how that contract. When y'all did the contract was supposed to list it as a business address. I didn't mean to interrupt your presentation.
No problem. Nah, you're right. Appreciate that.
For private mailbox work.
PMBs. So I've used the PMB. That's what you asked about private mailboxes.
Yeah.
So when you get these virtual addresses, a lot of times you get PMBs. Now I've used them. So you don't always have to list your PMB, right? So remember, it's all about how we look, right? You could put on the bank the address. You don't always have to list your PMB. You could put that after. As long as you look good out the gate, then we could change things after. Sometimes a PMB may look like a mailbox because it's probably that's what it says. So I don't think a PMB should be an issue because it's a physical address and you just may have another mailbox at that address. So it shouldn't be an issue because I've used it in the past and I haven't had any issues yet. So as long as it's not like a PO box, a UPS store, iPostal, do not use iPostal, please. Don't use iPostal. Just make sure it's the actual physical building where you can prove is a physical location. Now, some virtual addresses also, you can rent office space, which is a plus. So now if they want to pop up on you and say they want to do a site visit, you rent the office space, come in my office. So I know it's things like that.
That's what I do. I have Regis on mine, but I actually rent space. When I had clients come in, and I'm just calling like, or you can get office directly in there. So when you get the virtual office, always put in the contract that you want to rent the space, so that way they have to. That's what I mean. They have to list it, but you have to rent the space. You have to go in there and be like, I want to bring the clients to the office, because what a lot of people do is they'll rent the space, but they'll just do the where you get the mail delivered, and that's it. No, you got to get, and you take the client somewhere else. No, you want to have the client come in the office, rent the office for the time whenever you want to be in there.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So that's a good plus. So now that we're credible, right? I told you about setting up those banks, right? So you got the tier ones, the tier twos. These are some tier three cards. NIHFCU. That's another credit union. That's more on this side. Some of you people that's in the DMV may be familiar with NIHFCU. They got a personal and a business account. So I suggest any bank you guys build a relationship with, build relationships with banks that got personal and business accounts. So now that's a double whammy on funding. So now you get personal and business cards. You set up both. You build that relationship with that bank on both sides. That's funding on both sides. So you got NIHFCU. They got a 0% interest card for 15 months. They got two of them. Or they got three of them, actually. You got the GM business card. Now, any of you guys that have Apple, you can have the Apple card. So that's another play I'm gonna give y'all, the Apple card, right? And they also have a business card, which is the GM business card. It's backed by Goldman Sachs. So the Apple card, if you have an Apple phone, you should have an Apple card. So these are all things you can apply for, no docs, without submitting bank statements, without submitting tax returns. Now you got tier 4 banks, right? The Elon Financial banks. So Elon Financial is an institution that backs a lot of banks in the country. Now, Elon Financial, they give out limits of 25 to 30,000 out the gate, but their rules are getting kind of tight. I would suggest apply for one of these at a time. Every single state got Elon Financial banks. I would suggest apply for only about one of these at a time. You get a $25,000 card, and that's an easy approval. You got Bank of the West, Valley Bank. So these are just different cards you can apply for. Now, and that's the credit cards. That's PGing, right? That's PGing, personal guaranteeing. Now, when we talk about building business credit just basically off your EIN and your business, you can do that as well if you have a bad profile. If your credit is not up to par yet, you could apply for Divya, Capital Tap, or Topago. I know a couple people said they had some of these in the chat. So now these are cards you can apply for if your business is making money. You've been in business for a while, but you have bad credit. They'll ask you to use something like Plaid and attach your bank account. So they'll go off your bank statements if you're making money and have no credit, and they'll give you lines of credit. They'll give you capital based on just your bank statements. So on a Capital Tap will give you 20,000, 25,000 just off your bank statements. Divvy will give you 30,000. Capital Tap is revolving. Divvy is monthly. It's not revolving usually. Torpago will give you a line 10,000 out the gate just based off bank statements. Some more Sam's Club, Ally Financial, right? So now when we're talking about building off your EIN as well, that's a whole nother thing we could get into. That's your DMB, your Equifax, and your Experian. So now, along with when you make your LLC, open up a nav.com account. Nav.com is going to show you your business credit scores. So your business credit cards is different than your business credit scores. So those business credit cards I said earlier from the banks, they don't necessarily report and build business credit scores. So you have to build business credit scores by getting net 30s and trade line accounts that report back every month to build your DMB number, which is your Paydex, your Experian, and your Equifax business. Now, when you get these trade lines accounts, Sam's Club is one of them that reports, and they give you a credit line, which you can use if guys do Airbnb. If you do a number of things, Sam's Club will come in handy. And that reports back, and that builds your business credit scores. So you got to get these net 30s and these other smaller trade lines to build your business credit scores. Now, Ally Financial for you guys that do Turo, or you want, what you should have, all your cars and property should be in your business name. Ally Financial gives you an auto loan along with Bank of America. Bank of America gives you 4 auto loans every business LLC. So now, even if you have a personal auto loan, you can refinance out into a business auto loan. Now you can write partially, if not all, the entire car off for tax purposes. So any vehicle you have, the interest rate may be a little higher, but remember, you're writing it off. So we got to operate everything on the business side. I would suggest get a business auto loan. That's Ally Financial, or you could use BOA. Now, no doc loans and lines of credit, right? No doc loans and lines of credit. I didn't think we want to go all the way into this, but no doc loans and lines of credit. So now, you can get access. So this is what we do on a regular, right? We're getting our clients 50 to 100 grand, like each institution. without showing any docs based on just leveraging their profile. If anybody has got any no doc line of credit or no doc loans, just type in the chat what bank and where you located. So we go around, we have a bunch of institutions that we have relationships with the people in the bank. We're applying for up to 2 products with 1 pull, sometimes 3 products, and getting a line of credit, a credit card, or a loan with individuals for each LLC. Now, these are some of the banks that we're doing it at. We're doing it at M&T. I just got somebody $35,000 line of credit and a $15,000 card today. I'm taking it to PNC Bank. So that's 1 bank now. So we created a circle, and then I take it to PNC Bank. Same thing. Apply for line of credit, credit card. Say she get approved there. Then I'll take it to Key Bank. Line of credit, credit card. So this is how we can easily, off a good profile, get $500,000. And I'm not even talking about the credit cards earlier. Get $500,000 of credit to invest in our business for small businesses, for people that's in business, for entrepreneurs. This is how we're going around. If somebody with a 720 credit score and a strong profile, we scooping up everything. We scooping up. The minimum we getting is 100, 150. We scooping up everything. If you have a good profile, that's why I keep stressing it's important to have a strong profile, because the access to money without even making any money is so major that I think a lot of us is losing out and missing opportunity on. So this is what we're doing for people as a service. We're taking it to our relationships. We getting the paperwork done. We pushing it through, and we're getting them funded so they can put back into their pocket and put back into their business. Truist is another one. So the thing is, we want to create a community in the entire country, so we have every corner of the country locked off. So with these banks, they're location dependent. So you have to be within their imprint to be able to apply. Key Bank is usually up north for the most part. So you got to be somewhere in the New York tri-state area, maybe a little further out. They may go Midwest. They're not going to approve nobody in Texas. They're not in Texas. We'll go to Truist. Truist is Atlanta, Texas, I believe. So it depends.
Yeah, it's in Texas. It's in Texas.
He's up north.
Yeah. M&T was up north. They're in the Midwest as well.
In the Midwest. So that's why it's important to find these locations and find these banks and to know where to apply for and how to apply for. So it's a strategy. We mix the tier ones with like I told y'all, with the credit unions, with these banks. So we mix them all around to maximize how much funding we're able to get you. So that's basically what we teach people and how we fund on people. This is where we get. All right, so we ain't gonna get into that. We ain't gonna get into this. This is a little too much.
I'm gonna be honest. If we get into that, it's gonna be a lot more. Like this, we would have to be on this call for probably another hour. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. We'd have to be on this call for about another hour, because that what we were showing you slightly, right? It's about SBA funding as well as grants and other funding opportunities that a lot of people don't even know about, as well as CDFIs, like community developmental financial institutions that are giving out money for even startups or even established businesses, but they work directly within the community. So, right, obviously Brandon was talking about the no-doc loans. He was talking about the no-doc lines of credit. And yes, the no-doc loans and lines of credit are for your business specifically. Now, he said it before, we are personally guaranteeing, because this is one of the fastest ways so that we can actually build upon business credit and acquire business funding. If we were to go the no PG route, only using our EIN and things of that nature, you have to have revenue to back and support that, right? A lot of people always come out and say, no PG is a route. Here's how you can get a no PG credit card. Yes, but if you don't always see, they say, yeah, you got to have 10,000 in funding or 10,000 coming into your bank account and revenue every single month, or so on and so forth. So the fact that you're able to get a no doc line of credit for up to 50, for up to $25,000, and you can go to multiple different banks to do so, like that's a no-brainer. And that's not even including the credit card, right? We just said we got somebody 80,000. What was it, yesterday or the day before, Brandon?
Yeah,
Monday.
Chasing card.
Yeah, got an $80,000 card, and we can do a lot more. Amex, NIH, FCU, Wells Fargo, like there's so much more other credit cards that you can now go and apply for. And this, to me, I believe, is one of the fastest ways to helping you understand about investing into business as well as using that funding to now get out of the rat race, because it's a
But-
life changer.
Absolutely.
So can I ask a question?
We about to take questions in a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have a Discord. If you'll drop the Discord link in the chat, if that's okay, Christine. We got a 1-week free trial on our Discord, and this is where we're basically dropping everything that we're going over: personal credit, everything, entity setup, business credit, business funding, banks, how to fund yourself, how to fund clients, contact, basically everything we know we dropping in that Discord on a weekly. So
Is that fine? Is that fine, Christine?
I don't know, she's
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's just it's a 1-week free trial. You guys can go in there and check it out for sure.
So we're gonna have recordings as well of the calls we do in that Discord. So if y'all definitely want to stay in contact and up to date and be able to have the knowledge, definitely tap in with that.
And we definitely do a free webinar every Sunday. We're doing it until the end of the year. We do a free webinar every Sunday at 8 p.m. That's a free webinar every Sunday at 8 p.m. I'm gonna put the text link in the chat. And I'll probably also just drop the link for you guys. So obviously we're dropping game on here, right? We're dropping a lot of value. But it's not a lot of time, right? On the webinars, we at least spend an hour, and then we try to take some questions after. And then it's not only that, we're going over every single week, we're going over a new topic. So we started that personal credit 2 weeks ago. Last week we did business credit. Entity setup. This week we're going to be doing business credit, and then before it's going to be the next week after that is going to be business funding, and then we're going to keep continuing on and on and on. So definitely tap into that for sure if you can.
Appreciate y'all. Yeah, we could take some questions. Let me know, drop some gems and some fire in the chat if y'all gain anything from this. I know it was a little quick preview. But just give me some feedback in the chat if y'all gained anything from this, anything from the presentation, you learned something. And you definitely, if you want to tap in for more, I guess we'll take some questions, Christine.
Yes, absolutely. We're going to open the floor for questions.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go for it, Orlando.
All right. Now when you're saying the personal guarantee loan, now wouldn't you suggest that you should do like it should be a trust attached to that? Because let's say if something happens to someone's business, then it reverts back onto their their personal profile. So if you do the business within the trust, then it doesn't, it's harder to report back on a person. Because let's say if a business goes out of business, or they run into financial hardship, all that's going to revert back onto their personal profile.
Yes, absolutely. So it's many different ways of doing things. The trust talk, I'm definitely gonna leave that to her. That's what y'all here for. But I definitely would suggest having a trust. But the PG, yes, at the end of the day, if the business, you're personally guaranteeing, so you're personally backing it. So yes, that's why we're telling you this is the fastest way for you to get the most funding. But yes, you are personally backing it. So the point I want y'all to understand, and this is what we teach, is to make money. Not just go out and get these loans and lines of credit to get them and play around. Have a business plan first. So the point is to get this money to be able to make a lot more money. So that's the ultimate plan. But is a bunch of different ways to skin a cat. Having a trust involved definitely is a big difference, and definitely you can utilize that in many other ways too. So that's a whole nother topic. But yeah, I definitely leave that to her, and she could probably break that down in deeper detail.
Yeah, Christina knows.
Yeah, and we're definitely not getting this money so that we can ever think about that inclination part of it, right? We don't ever want to think that and this is just me. I'm a positive person, so I don't ever try to put that in my mind, because it's either it gotta work or it gotta work, right? So I'm taking this money because I'm going to make sure that I put it into something that's going to produce that type of.
Oh no, I'm not trying to say. I'm not trying to put any negative connotation on
Oh,
what you're saying. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? I'm just saying for protection purposes,
oh yeah,
if
yeah, yeah.
something like that should, occur. Of course, you don't want that to go in that direction. I'm just saying,
Right. No, I understand. I understand.
Right.
Absolutely.
Nixon, how you doing?
Hey, excuse my background. I'm shopping right now, but
No, that's fine.
cool.
You got the noise cancellation on your joint? That's new. They put the
Oh,
noise
I mean,
cancellation on the
hey, I got the
his
AirPods
background.
on, so
You ain't hear nothing. Whatever phone you got, you need to send me that now. I swear.
hey, listen, iPhone gang. That's all it is.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh, cool. So I can't be in there with the laptop like this, right? On the Zoom. Nah, all right, cool. Understood.
So my question goes back to like setting up, right? So you guys said that stay away from PO boxes and stuff like that. But I have a private mailbox and it's with pack mail. Is that something that I should switch up or is that fine?
Yeah, I said earlier, the PNB seem to be fine. Like I've used PNB. I have a PNB as well, so I never had an issue with the PNB. Usually, a lot of times when I put my address on, sometimes I won't put the PNB and I'll just add it later. Like when it asks me my address.
The items under your cart. Scan coupon now.
Gotcha.
Fine
Insert
with the
coupon.
PNB.
There you go. The noise cancellation ended. It's right there.
Yeah, you should be fine with the PNB.
Okay, cool. And then my last question is as far as a resident agent, right? So I have my accountant as my registered agent, but at the same time, I have her listed under my address as well. Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing?
So yeah, so I've ran into banks that have said, yo, why is the registered agent and the address the same? So I will make that separate, to be honest. Yeah, I would separate that.
All right, cool.
And I would-
Appreciate it. Yeah, that's
I would
it.
also say make not to cut y'all off, but I would also say make put yourself on as a co to your financial because you should be tracking, making sure your money wise and everything like that. Is make sure that you watching what they doing. That's all.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. So the way I got it set up right now, like I don't have that much transaction, so I'm managing it myself, and then I'm giving it to her to verify and make sure everything's fine. And then once I get enough transactions, then I'll just have her take over it, and then I'll just review it at that point, so I at least know what's going on.
All I was saying was just no matter how much money you bring in, always backtrack to make sure that everything is running right. Because I know a lot of people that turned it over and then they found out later. Because a friend of mine just got hit for like $300,000. So trust and believe. I mean, you don't never want to give them total access. So you want to give them access, but you want to watch what they doing. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying.
Gotcha. All right, appreciate it.
Mhm.
Got Nix. Who's next? That was just Nixon, right?
Yeah, Coach Tamika, how you doing?
Hey guys, I did join a little late, but I do have a question about, I have like a few high ticket programs and I encounter people who do not have funding available. I do have some level of funding that's available to them, but how can I get help for them? Yes?
No, I'm saying us. That's to us.
Oh yeah.
I'm raising the hand too. I'm raising the
Okay,
hand.
okay, I'm sure, but I'd love to know, what does it look like for them to get help from you and how quick can they get help? So I get on a call with someone and they are ready to sign on to my program and they do not have the funds at the time. How long does it take? What are they up against? What can you share right now?
So typically, when it comes to that funding aspect, you guys can hear me? Everything good? Okay. When it comes to that funding aspect, right? It really depends on what their personal credit looks like, right? Because that's in a sense, in a nutshell, what we use, right? To leverage the personal credit and put it into business funding. So We either get high limit credit cards, we either get them lines of credit or loans, depending on if their business is 2 years. So in that sense, the process can take between 1 to 3 weeks, right? And I only say 1 to 3 because sometimes they can get approved for the car. Like let's say they apply on Monday, get approved on Wednesday, but from our banker, that's the approval they get because they get the approval before the client even gets the approval. So that's why it takes a little while sometimes. So definitely you should always give it just a little bit of a buffer. If we can try and get it faster for you, then we'll absolutely do so. Right. But like if you don't mind me asking, maybe we can have another call off topic. I mean off of here, but just what the amount is of the program. And then, that can kind of help us just gauge on what it is that we need to get approved for your programs and things of that nature.
Okay, I have a 5K and a 10K.
Okay, beautiful. Yeah, so that's tight. Actually, I can sleep and get used 10K.
Yeah, so I would be honest. The easiest way to do it is it will have to be a pre-qualification, right? So we
Yeah.
need to pre-qualify, check their profile. If their profile checks out, we can let you know. Yeah, we can get them this money, and I'll say, yo, yeah, just put a down payment. I have them put a down payment just to lock their spot in, a non-refundable down payment. Let's just say 2,000 for the 10K program, non-refundable, and then wait for the funding to come in.
Mm-hmm.
I might need to talk to you offline too, because I got a couple high ticket stuff that I'm doing. So,
I ain't hear what you said. What you said, Orlando?
and I might have some high ticket situations as well. So I might want to talk to you offline as
Oh,
well.
okay.
All right.
Hey, do you mind if I drop the Calendly in the chat? Okay. Oh, you said yes, so you
Yeah,
do.
drop
Okay.
whatever you need to drop.
She like, just go ahead. Oh my God. Hey, if y'all can, if y'all don't already, just follow us on Instagram. Yeah. We're dropping gems daily for sure. And we're just, making sure that we're staying active, we're staying consistent on Instagram. So you guys being there and being liking our posts, commenting on our posts, that keeps us consistent as well. So if you guys can go ahead and follow, like, share, and comment, that'd be great. Thank you, Coach. Was that all? Was that all you need, Coach Samika?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Sanders, Mr. Sanders, I don't know how to say your name, the first name, and I don't want to butcher it.
Hey, what's going on? It's Mashawn.
Mashawn, how you doing, Mashawn?
Yeah. Hey, what's going on? Hey, yeah, appreciate the call, man. And you all both did a great job just sharing some gems. I do have a couple LLCs, and on one of them, I actually purchased an Amazon store franchise. And so it kind of moved a little bit slow, and we're waiting on it to rebound. So I ended up mixing some of my personal and my business funds to get it. And so it put my utilization out of whack. So my question is, with the meat tally, does that allow me to move off of the personal cards and the business cards onto that, or they only take personal?
Only take personal.
Only personal. What you need to move the business cards off for?
Just to free it up so I can. I'm trying to. I found a franchise that I'm going to purchase, and I was looking at the SBA route, but they want you to have the same qualification like you were talking about as far as the criteria goes, with your utilization, your DTI, and all that. So
how much is the franchise?
$150K.
They have the oh, go ahead, Seth.
I'm sorry. I couldn't let you keep going. Look, I love businesses, right? I love buying businesses, but franchises, if you can, because franchises you don't own completely. You're buying a job in a sense, right? So I just want you to keep that in mind when you're going for these franchises, right? You're not buying an actual business, you're just buying a high paying job at that point. So if I know you're probably already down the process, right? But if you can find something that's an actual business that you can buy, that you can own, you can tailor to what you like and things of that nature, and learn your systems, that I think that's just more of an option. I'm sorry, I just had to give that input on that because I've seen people that bought franchises and they've hated it, and then they're like, they sold out just because it's like I don't want to be in it anymore. Because like I said, it's just a job. You're buying a high paying job. But if you need the capital, if that's something that you really want to move forward in, then that's something that we can definitely do. But I know you need to use Meat Tally to take down some of that personal utilization and then move on from there.
Yeah,
Okay. Thanks.
go ahead.
No, I was just saying I appreciate it.
Yeah, not a problem. All right. So do you guys have any more questions? Nope. All right. Perfect. So with that being said,
appreciate it. Definitely, if y'all want to tap in for further information, anybody want to catch us offline, we dropped our calendar in there, our Instagram and our Discord. So definitely tap in with us. Hit us on Instagram, any social media, or book an appointment with us. Any way we can serve you guys, or any education or any services, just let us know.
Thank you so much, Brandon. Thank you, Kevin, for coming on and becoming guest speakers for tonight. The masterclass was absolutely amazing, very informational. We do appreciate you pouring into the community, teaching them all about business funding, business credit. So you guys definitely go ahead and follow them. Get their calendar links. So book a call with them if you have any other additional questions. And thank you guys so much. We appreciate you.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
thank you. Appreciate it. I appreciate you allowing us on the platform. And like I said, everybody go follow us on Instagram. Spam us, y'all. Spam us. And make sure y'all book that call. And we got a free week trial in Discord. Why not? It's free. Hope you have a great night.
Yes,
Hey, Christina, before you leave, could
Uh-oh.
you speak to us about the course?
yes,
I
yes,
asked
yes.
about
So,
that before.
yeah, sorry about that, Mike. So, so I have a course that's coming out on Friday, the 11th. It's called the Wealthy Trustee Program. So Friday is the launch, and we are going to be I'm educating you guys on trust, guys. Okay, so in the course, you're going to be learning how to set up a trust. So you're going to get the trust templates for a business trust and a private family trust. So you're going to learn how to set it up, who are the parties involved, right? So you have a grantor, which is the creator of the trust. You have a trustee, which is the controller of the trust. You have beneficiaries, which benefit from the trust. And then you have successors who take over for the trustees and protectors. So you learn about, all of the different parties involved with this contract, and you learn how to operate the contract, right? So with the trust, it is a living, breathing entity, just like you, just like a human being. So it can do anything that a human being can do, right? I guess except bear children. So with this entity, you can use this to protect your assets because you will be operating in the private. It's not public, so they can't look you up on the public records to see what type of assets you own. So you definitely want to build wealth utilizing a trust. This is what the wealthy do. This is what the top 1% do, like the Bill Gates, the Trumps, all of those famous families that you know of, right? So with this trust, you can also, what you're going to be doing is you're going to get an EIN for it. You're going to have a bank account so that you can separate your trust funds from your regular money or your regular funds. You are also going to be learning how to build business credit with this entity, okay? So it's just like what Brandon and Tevin were talking about today, where you're building out that tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 credit. It's the same way. It's the same way as if you were building out like corporate credit, right? Or your business with your LLC, it's the same thing. So with a trust, you can definitely build business credit that way. So you're also going to be learning about that in the course. And then you also are going to be learning about how to invest the trust funds, right? Because you can build the business credit, but you also need to know how to utilize those funds in order to invest them and multiply them, right? So we are also going to be teaching you how to open up like brokerage accounts and do different indexed investments and stuff, and crypto investments and real estate investments when it comes to utilizing your trust, as well as how to transfer your assets, right? Because one thing is, let's say that with a trust, your privacy is concealed, right? And you do not want to be having your personal assets like your house or your car in your name, in your private name, because let's say that you get sued, then they can actually seize your assets, right? So you want to protect your assets by them not knowing who the owner is, because then these lawyers, they don't know who to go after, right? So you're going to learn how to transfer your assets to your trust so that you can be in the position to where you own nothing but control everything, right? It's all about stewardship, right? Stewardship is the most important thing when it comes to building wealth, because you want to be able to transfer it appropriately, right? A lot of people, they are so focused in their lifetime on creating the wealth, but they never stop to think, how are they going to transfer the wealth? And so hold on, let me mute. So once they get to the point to where they have acquired all of this wealth and then they pass away, now their family has to go to probate, right? I've seen on Instagram where I think his name is Chad, what's his name? Chad Wick or something like that. The guy who did yes. What's his name, Orlando?
Chadwick Boseman.
Yes. Yeah, the guy. Yeah, exactly. So like with him, his whole estate, it went into probate. And so his wife only got like 1/3 and another 1/3 went to the court system. So you do not want to, put your family in that position where they're at a disadvantage, where they're only getting like 25 to 30% of your entire estate, and then the rest goes to taxes and to the courts and the lawyers, right? So that's why it's important that you set up the transfer of your wealth, and you need to set it up now. Like a lot of people think, oh, well, I have to make $1 million in order for me to be in that position, or in order for me to utilize a trust or get a trust. No, if you are intentional about creating generational wealth, if you are intentional about leaving, a legacy for your children, then you need to get a trust right away, right? You need to, that needs to be the first step before you even create a business or before you even start, doing investments. You want to do it the right way versus you getting, starting a business or getting all these investment accounts, and then you have to change the ownership later. So you might as well do it, step by step. So transfer of wealth is extremely important, and it's so easy when you are utilizing a trust, because there's nothing that you have to do, right? When you pass away, so you are going to be operating as the trustee, right? And your children are the beneficiary of your trust. So when you pass away, your beneficiaries already own the trust. So there's nothing that needs to be done. There's no probate or any of that other stuff, right? It doesn't go through inheritance tax or a death tax or anything like that. So that is the benefit of utilizing a trust in order to transfer your wealth, in order to transfer your house, your cars, all of your bank accounts, even your insurance policies, right? Your insurance policies, they also need to be owned by your trust, because once you die, the death benefits go straight to the trust, right? And let's just say it's $1 million and you have 4 kids, then it's dispersed, equally to your children. So, so I'm launching this course, and right now it's on pre-sale for $497. And once the course launches at 5 o'clock on Friday, then the price is going to go up to $997. So if you are interested in this information, you definitely want to take advantage of it. I'm going to drop the link to the course. And then tomorrow, if you want to know more information about the trust, I'm actually having a webinar tomorrow at 8 p.m. where I'm going to be, no, it's not 8 p.m. It's 7:30 actually. It's 7:30 tomorrow, and I'm going to be diving in deeper. I'm going to be going through this information for about an hour and a half tomorrow. Yeah, for
And then-
about an hour and a half tomorrow. So I will drop the link for that as well.
Can I add something? One quick minute.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure, Orlando.
With your business, if anybody is about to start a business or you got a business, trademark the name. Trademark the name of the business before you even start the business. Because the fundamental problem is you can make all the money in the business, but if it ain't trademarked, then you got to change all the paperwork, regardless. Even before it get to a trust. So before you even make $1 in your business, trademark the name. Because you can leverage the trademark name as well.
Yep, that is so true. Thank you, Orlando. Any other questions? Isaac, you have a question?
Yeah, I was gonna ask, with that, the holding company part, is that in the course?
Yes, that's in the course.
Okay.
Yep, that's in the course. And I'll be talking about the holding company tomorrow. So if you are free tomorrow at 7:30, I don't know if have you gone to a one of the webinars yet?
Yeah, I've been in one of the webinars.
Oh,
already.
okay. All right, cool. Okay, yes, it is. It's in the course. So if anybody wants to attend the webinar tomorrow, the link, oh no, sorry, I put my Instagram link. Hold on, that is not the link. So I'm going to get the link so that you guys can sign up for the webinar. There it is. There we go. Any other questions? So I put the link for the actual course for the pre-sale right now. So it's wealthytrustee.com. And then for the, I put the link for the webinar. So if you guys want to come and join me tomorrow and talk about some trust and find out some secrets of what these 1% multi-billionaires are doing, then you can join me tomorrow at 7:30. Any other questions? No? Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight at the 7 Ways to Wealth Masterclass. We really appreciate your participation and engagement, and we will see you next week, this time Wednesday at 7 p.m. Have a good night, everybody.